Just finishing up my gorgeous cup of coffee. Hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday. And yes, it is sunny in San Diego. And today we are touching on my favorite subject, which is making money. I say because it's a very funny subject, this one, because everyone who's in business wants to do it. And yet so many of us have got ideas about whether we should be doing it and how much of it we should be doing and so on and so forth. And I just want to blast a couple of myths. But before that, just in case you're new here, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Andrea Kuchin. I have two businesses, as you can see here, and they're both connected. This is my TV show. Used to be a TV show, now it's alive, called My Home Biz Tips, which is designed to empower and support and inspire home-based business owners. This is before COVID, when working from home wasn't weird, because somehow COVID made it go a bit weird. Anyway, that all came from PhD in follow-up, which was how we started. My business partner and I, my business partner Robert and I, 10 years ago, can you believe it? Helping businesses set up good, solid, efficient follow-up systems so that they can close more sales, increase referrals, and improve customer loyalty. Really, really important. So if you need to email me for anything, you can reach me at andrea@phdandfollowup.com, or you can text me 858-252-1190. And in fact, if you want to know more about what I do and all the things that I talk to you about and some of the products or services that I'm promoting, if you text the word Andrea to 858-252-1190, you'll receive some promotional material I put together that basically talks a little bit about who I am and shows you the different things that I promote. And the reason I'm telling you that is because that's all connected to easy ways to make more money, or money at all. Now, there are two different types of money. There is money that you're making in your business because you're a business owner. And for those of you who aren't, there's other money that you make, whether you're in business or not. And I'm going to talk about the business stuff first, because most of you are in business. And then I'm going to talk about the other stuff afterwards. So you went into business, hopefully, because you can do something or you know something that people need, right? Yes, that's why I went into business, because I realized that over my years of experience in different businesses, different industries, television production being the main one and market research being the other one, kind of slightly connected in a way, because you certainly need to know your market in order to be able to present what you want to them. So knowing how to do market research certainly helped with being able to do TV, because I was in the infomercial business. You know, I'm dating myself here, but a little while ago, there were companies like Guthy Renker and Time Life who used to create these CD sets, you know, songs of the 70s or disco groove, those kind of things. And you'd buy, I don't know, there'd be a 6 CD set. But wait, if you ordered within the next 15 minutes, you'd also get an additional something or other. And they were always presented by one of the rock stars of the era. Yes, I used to make those for the European market for those companies. Anyway, I digress. And I don't want to make it very long today. So inside your business, and I do this. Oh, before I do that, let me just one more thing. Every individual, minimally every family unit, should have 5 completely independent streams of income, right? Which means if we have 2 grown-up parents, they both have a job, that's 2, right? There's still 3. They might have I don't know, they might be lucky and own a garden, and they put a little tiny house in the garden, and they let that out in the summer, and they make money from that. Who knows? Or they might own property, maybe an older relative passed away and left them a property, and that's another income. Or they might have some savings that they've put into a bank account that's accruing interest. Or they might have a side hustle or something like that. But if you're on your own, it's unlikely, I hope, for your sake, that you've got 2 jobs. So it still applies either way. As the last couple of years have shown us, we do not know what could happen on any given day. And you don't want to find yourself on your bottom on the floor because somebody just pulled the rug out from under your feet. That is not a good place to be. And too many of us have got too close to that over the last 2 years. Some people actually ending up on the floor, and that is not a place anyone should go. So if you have 5 completely independent income streams, you are safer than anyone else. Okay, there's no 100% security and safety in this world, but you are safer. Okay, so now let me add something else. I do not believe that it is ethical or a good thing to do to try to earn money for doing nothing. So whenever somebody comes to me and says, you can do this, you don't have to do anything, this system will generate money for you for nothing, I don't believe it, and I don't want it. Okay, that's not who I am. And believe you me, people are offering me deals like that all the time, and I don't go for it. If I have ever introduced you to something that looked like that, it wasn't that. Don't misunderstand it. There was something, or there is something that I have been promoting over the last 1.5 years, which might appear to be that way, but it isn't, because that's not the kind of game I want to play. So you can rest assured that anything I'm telling you about is real and valid and tested, if not necessarily by me, then by someone I know and trust. And the reason I haven't tested it myself is because I can't do everything. I've only got 2 hands and 24 hours and 3 virtual assistants. But anyway, I can't do everything myself at the moment. My aim is to do so. So another question that people ask me is, why do you want to make more money than you need? And I've worked with people, mostly women, actually, I have to say, who say, I only need to make 100,000 a year or 200,000 a year. That's enough for me. Well, good, and bless you. Great. But I want to do stuff in the world. I want to invest in education opportunities. I want to invest in sheltering, training, and support systems for abused women and mums and foster kids. I want to be able to set things up. I want to be able to say to somebody, here's $100,000, go build a school in Ethiopia. Or here's $100,000, go to the back streets of LA and set up a women's refuge. That's what I want to be able to do. So I want to be able to have lots of spare cash, lots of spare money, apart from what I need for my family of 4, which is my husband, my daughter, and my dog, and myself. Apart from that immediate family, there is extended family that I want to help. You know, there's my parents or my mum and my stepdad. I have a brother. My husband has a brother. I want to make sure that they've got everything they need. Prices are going sky high and crazy, and people on a fixed income, their incomes aren't going up. You know, I know people whose pensions have gone down at the same time that their expenses are going up. That's obviously a recipe for disaster. I'm not a brilliant mathematician, but there are certain things that I can calculate in my head, and less coming in and more going out is bound to lead to disaster. So this is why I'm not talking about having $100,000 a year as a target. I'm talking about having $1 million a year as a target, right? At least to start off with. And I know lots of absolutely divine people who are creating amazing things on the side with their charitable contributions, right? That's why we have big numbers. And don't think for a minute that you don't deserve it. Don't think for a minute that we were not put on this earth in order to do great things and have abundance showered upon us, because we were. And I don't believe that in any religion it says anywhere that you shouldn't have access to the riches of the world, whether they be friendships or beautiful views or opportunities to travel or income or people around you or beauty and great literature and fantastic art. I don't think any religion would say that those things, well, maybe there are, I don't know. Anyway, I wouldn't support anything that said that we shouldn't have access to this, because we were made to enjoy our environment and improve it and make it better and support and help each other. And we can't do that if we're rubbing 2 pennies together, if that's all we've got, right? So those are my viewpoints. If you disagree with me, then I don't think I can help you, and I don't think you're going to enjoy the rest of what I've got to say today. If you like what you're hearing, come closer, because this is going to get really good. Okay, inside your business, you have whatever it is that you sell. You might be a coach, you might be, you might be a business coach or a life coach or a health coach, or I don't know, a piano teacher or whatever it is, an actor, whatever it is. Somewhere in your business, you need to be a little bit creative to come up with it, possibly. There is something that you can create or get from someone else and promote that can generate residual income for you. Yes, if you're coaching, it could be a training course that you create and you put it online and it sells from online, okay? Or it could be a book you've written. Or if you're an actor, you could write a book on how to ace auditions, or you could do a training course on how to ace auditions, or you might do something about different kinds of makeup. I remember when I went to acting school, I was taught makeup, as in how to look as though I just had a car crash, or how to look as though I was 95. And so we had the makeup, we had the prosthetics, we sort of, created cuts that were bleeding and things on our faces and, wrinkles and all that kind of stuff for the theatre, so we could do it ourselves. You could do that kind of thing. Or you could affiliate yourself with a brand of products, like, for example, and this is totally off the top of my head, I don't even know if it exists, but if there are products that you can use in your makeup, or systems that you can use to memorize your script, I don't know, whatever it is, be creative and find something that aligns with your work, harmonizes with it, because you don't want conflict. You don't want to look as though you're doing loads of different things that don't make sense. You see, I look as though I'm doing loads of different things, but they all connect. They all make sense. They all fit with my brand. My branding is helping business owners get better results, right? That's what it's about. Everything I do is about that, right? It might sort of go slightly in a direction, but on the whole, it's connected, right? Because there's administration, there's marketing, there's finance, all those things are part of a business. So I'm lucky in that way. I can promote anything that connects to that. And it doesn't have to be something you created yourself. It can be, you can get an Amazon affiliate membership, and you can promote books that are connected to your subject, which means that every time somebody buys a book through your link or your store, you'll get a little bit of extra. Now, residual income means you set it up and then it runs itself. And Amazon is a perfect example. And there are other places as well that you can create something that you don't have to keep doing. Etsy, for example, if you've got a digital product, it'll sell itself, right? Or if you've got somebody who's drop shipping, that is something, again, you don't need to be involved in. You just have the link. You are the influencer who will attract people. Now, most affiliate programs work on one level. In other words, you introduce someone to that product, you get paid, right? One or two of them have you introduce someone to that product and they introduce someone else, you get a little bit of a kickback for that too. And that's useful because unless it's completely digitized, where everything is online and you don't even know who's your customer or who isn't, there will have been some kind of more intimate connection between you and the customer. In other words, you will have had a conversation, you will be helping them set it up or whatever it is, in which case you'll be helping that person with their person. So it makes complete sense that you receive something for that too. So that's basic affiliate marketing. And there are loads of different places. I've talked about them before. ClickBank is a good one. Amazon's one where you can find products, or if it fits, design a product or create a product yourself that would work. Now, if you're something like a yoga teacher, you could be affiliated with nutritional supplementation or clothing. You know, what kind of clothing would you wear for your yoga? Or maybe equipment, maybe a yoga mat, something like that. Or maybe even a cup to hold your water in while you're cycling to your yoga class. I don't know what it is. Like I said, be creative. Whatever business you are in, there is definitely some product or service that you can promote and make extra money from without having to put in a massive amount of effort. That's the point. The income comes in without a lot of effort. Now, going back to what I said at the beginning, that doesn't mean you're not doing anything, because you are. You're using your name, your reputation, your goodwill, your connections. That's where the value in your business is, right? If you think that your business as a yoga instructor is the fact that you're instructing yoga, it's not quite right. Your value as a yoga instructor is the fact that there are people who are willing to pay you to teach them yoga. It's those people that's the value. Because as a yoga instructor, if you don't have any clients, you're not making any money. Money is value. Value is money, right? Or equivalent, right? They balance each other out. Nobody has any value whatsoever if nobody's paying them to do something. Obviously, they've got no value. They're just not monetizing it. In other words, no one else can see that that value is there, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, reach out to me here, Andrea at phdandfollowup.com, or join the Facebook group, PhD and Follow Up, and communicate with me, please, because I want to help you understand. Anyway, I'm dragging on a little bit. I don't want to do that. So that's it. Create something that you can be affiliated with, residual income. Now, the next step up from that, which takes a little bit more of an effort, is a multi-level marketing company. There are loads of health companies out there. So if you've got anything to do with health, physical health or mental health, in other words, if you're a life coach, which is really about mental health in a way, or mental well-being, or, you know, getting out of your head, all of that, there are products that you can use. Now, my husband is a holistic health practitioner, so he knows more about that than I do. So I don't handle health products at all. He does. And you know, you can always get advice from him or ideas from him. He's been introduced to almost everything there is. There are some products he uses because he likes them, others he doesn't. But you do need to nurture your team if you want to build a team. Now, the beauty of building the team is that it gives you leverage in a way that affiliate marketing doesn't. Because affiliate marketing, you're still restricted to your own contacts. Whereas with network marketing, you become connected to the networks of the people that are in your team, which can build exponentially in an extraordinary way. But there is a certain amount of nurturing to be done. Now, I've talked about this to people who are actually in multi-level marketing companies, and some people will fight me on this one, but the company is paying you to support the people that you bring in as well. So you do have to take responsibility for that. And when you do, and it's not hard and it doesn't have to be time consuming, but when you do, you'll notice a difference in your income. Okay. Wherever you flow your attention, your money will flow as well. Right. So where attention flows, money goes. Okay. And that is just a fact of life. So there's the MLM thing. And then there are other ways of generating income. Like, for example, if you have a particular project, you want to do some crowdfunding, but the complexion of crowdfunding is changing a little bit, okay? Because there are now crowdfunding style platforms that will allow you to contribute and become a recipient as well of future contributions, okay? There's an MLM aspect or an affiliate aspect to some of these as well. I've participated in one or two of them, so I have an overall understanding. I've not focused my attention on them. I'm actually looking for people to come in to do some of, you know, to flow a little bit of power towards those, actually, if anyone's interested in playing that kind of a game, so that I can find out a little bit more. But they look very, very interesting to me, and it will create a consistent residual income, which you can then put towards whatever you like, whether it might be paying for your teenagers' education, or, I don't know, buying a house. Whatever it is, it'll generate. It's not massive amounts of insane money. And you do have a little bit of work to do, but the rewards are high in comparison to the amount of work that you have to do. And that's where the magic is. Okay. So that's another one. There are crowdfunding platforms, and you don't actually have to have a specific project either. Anyway, if you want to know more about that, reach out to me and I will send you more information. Now, moving along from that, there's investing. Mm-hmm. And this is scary. And I have friends who've been investing for years, and I never could because I never had enough money to get started. And it was really frustrating for me to see how much money these people could make in either trading themselves or putting money into managed accounts, which means that the company they're investing in looks after their money for them and gives them a big return. It used to frustrate me no end to see how much money people could make because they had a little bit of money already. Because I didn't have that little bit of money already to get to, because you had to have in those days, even in the beginning of internet trading, you had to have money to trade. And then there are fees and all the rest of it. And sometimes before you know it, the money you put in's disappeared, you know, because it's got sucked up with feeds and one bad trade and it's gone. And it's frightening. It's frightening to be watching a computer screen and seeing your numbers go down. Horrible. Panic attacks, all the rest of it. Not a good game. Now, though, it's a completely different story. You can put $100 in, or $500, or $1,000. Now, that's nothing compared to how much it used to be. And you don't need to learn how the system works. You can put money with other trusted resources. And because we now have things like cryptocurrency, trading currencies has changed completely because there are so many more and the numbers are so much bigger. But there are also companies that have other investment opportunities. Stock market investing, property investment, which is a good one. You don't have to buy a property. You can invest in part of a property. What's the word? ATMs, those machines that you get cash from. If they're not associated with your own bank, you have to pay a fee. Who do you think gets that fee? You invest in something like that, not buying an ATM yourself, although that works. And I know people who've done that, but joining a company that has that as one of its income streams. Okay, you would be amazed how many opportunities there are and how much money you can earn. And if you are looking for something like that, look for a company that allows you to compound your interest. I don't know if you know anything about compounding interest. Most people don't. Most people pay it on their credit cards, which means they charge you interest one month, and then the following month they charge you interest on top of your principal, which is what you borrowed, but also the interest that they charged you the previous month. So by the time you get to the end of the year, you are paying insane amounts of interest on interest on interest. Fine. Okay, that's life. But it's going to dig you into a hole that you are going to have difficulty getting out of. And you should be able to benefit yourself. Well, now you can. Now you can be like the credit card company. You can get paid interest on your interest on your interest. And there are options that will allow you to do that. Again, if you're interested, reach out to me directly. And I'm not doing all of these things myself. I'm not looking after all of this myself. I'm going to introduce you to people I know, like, and trust. And these are not people I've met yesterday either. Like I said at the beginning, I am cautious when it comes to my money. I've been bitten before. In fact, I nearly had my head ripped off before. Okay, didn't just lose a hand, almost lost a head, literally. So I really believe that you can trust the people that I'm connected to. Although, disclaimer here, at your own peril, right? Now, one more thing before I leave. The final thing, and this is new, so it's new. Anyway, there are systems out there that will allow you to spend your money more intelligently, which allows you to save more money and pay less interest on things like credit card bills, mortgages, all the rest of it. So whether you are having difficulty keeping up with payments for those things or not is irrelevant. The point is, how much interest do you want to be spending over whatever period of time it is? So when I bought my first property in London some time ago, I paid £40,000 for it, or it cost £40,000, right? It was a one-bedroom flat in southwest London. Gorgeous, loved it. Anyway, and I had a mortgage at a good interest rate, because at the time my dad was in the mortgage business and he helped me to get a good interest rate. However, we sat down and we calculated that on my 21-year mortgage, by the time it finished, I would have paid 3.5 times £40,000 for my property. 3.5 times, which makes no sense whatsoever. Why would you ever want to pay 3.5 times more than the price of something? Now, the hope would be, or the hope was, that by the time I sold that property, it would be worth, well, if I hung on to it for 21 years, it would be worth 3.5 times what I paid for it, which would mean that I could get paid and I could pay my mortgage off, right? If I was lucky, it would increase that much to that amount faster, which would give me a bigger deposit, which would allow me to then buy a bigger place. As it happens, that is exactly what happened. But I still overall paid too much interest on that loan. I didn't have any difficulty paying it off. I didn't have any difficulty financially with anything at all. But I would have been very interested to learn at that time how I could save interest and pay off faster, right? So whether you are struggling with money or not, if you have a mortgage, probably even a car loan, and credit cards that you're paying interest on, you need to look at one of these programs. And I'm not going to give you the details about how they work because I haven't done the training. But the results that I do know for sure are that you can save a significant amount of interest over a significant period, right? So say you have a 30-year mortgage, which you can get in the United States. You can't get it in the UK as far as I know. At least you couldn't when I was buying property. But the way that the real estate market in the United Kingdom is becoming a little bit more like the American one. So I don't know. But anyway, even if you've only got 20 years of it left, or you're just buying it now, or you had 20 years, 10 years ago, you've still got 10 years, you don't want to pay the full amount of interest. Even if you've got a really low interest loan, that's not necessarily always the case. It might look like it, but believe you me, they're going to get you somewhere. So if the idea of saving time and money, time is a big one as well, you know, not just money, on something like that interests you, again, I have people I can introduce you to that I know, like, and trust. Okay. So that's it for today. It's been longer than I was expecting, but I really wanted you to understand where I'm coming from. I am very much conservative when I look at what to do with money. And I'm very creative at thinking up ideas. And I do have an innate understanding of how certain things work, but I'm not an expert. But I know people who are. And that's the brilliant thing about having a network. Knowing people, building connections to people, which is my big subject. Following up, right? Staying connected. Connections are currency, right? So my connections have introduced me to people who've introduced me to ideas that I didn't know would exist. So 5 income streams, done, done, and done, right? So if you want that done, if you want your 5 income streams that are completely disconnected, some of them could be high risk, some of them low risk, whatever you feel comfortable with, all starting in a relatively low amount of money, reach out to me. Send me an email. Whoops. There we go. Send me an email, Andrea at phdandfollowup.com. Text me or call me 858-252-1190 or join the Facebook group. If you want to know more about me, although I don't have links to a lot of these things, but you can book an appointment to talk to me, text the word Andrea, my name, Andrea, to 858-252-1190, and the autoresponder will send you some information. Okay, so that's it for today. Like I said before, happy Tuesday. Enjoy your Tuesday. Have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't forget, I'm super cautious. And I will see you here again, same time next week. Bye.